So what actually is a Potemkin village? Well, it dates back over 200 years when Catherine the Great of Russia was visiting the recently annexed area of Crimea. Prince Grigory Potemkin-Tavricheski, a military leader and notable favourite of hers, would have been difficulty constructing new cities and a port in the region, especially due to outbreaks of disease including the plague. So, in order to convince Catherine that the construction was going on far better than was really the case, he had the poor quality of the housing either superficially improved or covered up in areas of the region that Catherine was going to be touring through. Now, whether the extent of the fakery was quite as substantial and as widespread as the European commentators alleged is highly debatable. However, the term Potemkin village has now come to mean anything solely built to convince others that the situation is better than it is in reality. There have been more substantial effects of more widespread fakery since Potemkin's time, but the action still carries through his name to this day. One of the key attempts at a Potemkin village was that of Theresienstadt, a concentration camp in the Czech Republic. It was portrayed to the visiting Danish Red Cross and also in a propaganda film as an ideal community or paradise ghetto. The Red Cross were visiting because of rumours about the concentration camps being used as extermination camps. Danish leaders, including King Christian, wanted to see what had happened to the transported Danish citizens that had not been spirited away to neutral Sweden. The Germans, in turn, didn't want to create more unrest in Denmark or even hostility with Sweden, so they arranged for the camp to be prepared in advance of the visit. To prevent the visitors seeing anything the Nazis didn't want them to see, they were taken around on a pre-prepared route, which the three delegates didn't deviate from. Now, the preparations included deportations from the camp to other camps, including several thousand people going to Auschwitz, in an attempt to reduce the overcrowding in that location. Also, they had the residents plant gardens, paint buildings, all to make the environment look better under the Nazi rule. There was also a staged football match for the visitors to watch, along with other cultural and social activities. This has been shown selective accommodation for two people so they could live as a family, rather than the dozens of people that crammed into all the other buildings. Now, despite bruises on the face of the mayor and other signs, the Red Cross visitors left convinced, probably because the camp they saw was so much better than the reports they'd been getting of the Polish ghettos at the time. Now, the other well-known Potemkin village is Kijong-Dong, or the Peace Village in North Korea, the northern part of the demilitarized zone. The village is supposed to have 200 residents for collective farms in the area. However, the buildings are just concrete shells with no glass in the windows, electric lights operated by timers. The only people seen are maintenance workers sweeping the streets and preparing the surrounding farmland. The village is supposed to have a day centre, a hospital and schools. It was created in an attempt to convince the South Koreans that life in the north was a workers' paradise and they should cross the border and join them. However, there are no reports of any South Koreans ever being convinced by the Peace Village, but it has been in operation for nearly 60 years and certainly is a testament to the stubbornness of the North Korean population, or at least to its leadership. There are two examples, of course, of the more obvious types of a Potemkin village. More subtle ones have existed and they're still around today. But if you're ever in the highly unlikely situation of being in a Potemkin village, how can you actually tell? Well, ask if you can go anywhere freely around the place, without minders. Can you talk to random residents rather than just the selected ones that they want you to see? And again, without supervision. And always ask lots of forward questions. The façade of a Potemkin village tends to fall apart under close examination.